On a dark seafloor, a pale fish balances above the mud, as though mounted on three delicate stilts. The current moves drifting particles past its body, yet the tripod fish remains almost perfectly still. Its posture looks passive, but stillness here is an active solution to finding food without wasting energy. The animal rests on elongated rays from its pelvic fins and lower tail, forming a stable three-point support. Long pectoral fin rays extend forward like sensitive arms positioned across the passing water. The mystery is why a fish capable of swimming repeatedly chooses to stand. Direct observations show the posture, while anatomy reveals how contact with sediment avoids burying the entire body. Mainstream interpretation connects this elevated station with detecting small prey carried near the bottom. The tripod does not chase a visible procession. It waits where currents deliver uncertain, scattered opportunities. Each minute of immobility saves muscular work while preserving a ready feeding position. If you descended beside it, apparent lifelessness would resolve into a carefully maintained orientation against the flow. The investigation follows that orientation from supporting rays to sensory contact, strike, and energetic reward. It also asks where familiar explanations outrun what cameras have actually recorded. Standing is not sleep, paralysis, or proof that the fish cannot swim. It is a behavior shaped by soft ground, weak food supply, and water that never truly stops moving. Several deep-sea fishes are commonly called tripod fish, especially species within the genus Bathypterois. Bathypterois grallator provides the most familiar image, with extremely elongated fin rays supporting its body. These rays are extensions of fins, not separate legs, and they do not walk like jointed limbs. Their tips contact the sediment while the body remains raised in bottom water. 3 contact points create stability on irregular mud without requiring constant fin beats. Supporting structures are flexible enough to bend, yet sufficiently stiff under load to hold position. Their exact material behavior in living animals remains less completely measured than their preserved anatomy. Deep benthic plains receive little food compared with productive surface waters thousands of meters above. Organic particles descend as marine snow, while mobile animals transport additional energy through migration and death. Near-bottom currents redistribute this material and carry small crustaceans or other prey through localized pathways. A stationary predator can exploit that movement if it selects a position where flow repeatedly delivers targets. Swimming search would cover more water, but it would also demand energy and create hydrodynamic disturbance. Tripod posture reduces continuous locomotion while keeping the head clear of easily stirred sediment. The fish typically faces into current, placing its forward pectoral rays where approaching prey should arrive first. Those elongated rays contain sensory structures capable of detecting mechanical contact or nearby movement. Touch becomes especially useful where darkness limits long-range vision and suspended matter can obscure faint signals. Eyes are reduced in some tripod fishes, although visual capacity and habitat differ among species. It is therefore safer to describe touch as important than to declare every individual functionally blind. When you picture the fish as a living current meter, its posture becomes mechanically coherent. The supports fix body height, the current defines direction, and the forward rays sample a moving corridor. This arrangement turns passing water into a conveyor, though prey delivery remains intermittent and never guaranteed. A cue reaching one sensory ray can initiate a feeding response without a prolonged pursuit. The verified context supports ambush feeding, but the precise sequence deserves careful separation. Observers have documented tripod fishes holding pectoral rays forward while facing flow near the seafloor. Stomach contents confirm diets involving small crustaceans and other manageable animals. Together, posture and diet support the interpretation that the rays help encounter drifting or swimming prey. Some accounts describe prey touching the fins and being directed toward the mouth. That sequence is plausible and has behavioral support, but detailed natural captures remain relatively uncommon. The rays cannot be assumed to identify prey with human-like precision before the fish moves. They register physical information, and the nervous system must distinguish useful signals from debris or turbulence. When a small animal contacts the sensory field, the fish can flex forward and bring its mouth toward the target. Elongated fin rays help maintain position while the body pivots within the current. If the strike succeeds, the prey supplies energy without the cost of a long chase. If the signal is drifting sediment, movement brings no reward and adds avoidable expense. Natural selection, therefore, favors response thresholds, balancing missed meals against false alarms. Current strength changes the calculation because stronger flow delivers more material, but also bends supports and increases drag. The fish may reorient, swim briefly, or settle elsewhere when its station becomes unfavorable. This cue-action adaptation sequence prevents stillness from becoming helpless attachment to one patch. Video shows tripod fishes leaving the bottom and swimming, proving their stilts are a chosen posture rather than permanent anchoring. During swimming, elongated rays trail or flex with the body and impose some drag. Their benefit while stationed must therefore compensate for costs during relocation. Soft sediment adds another limitation because narrow tips may sink until resistance supports the animal. An elevated body avoids smothering delicate gill surfaces in mud disturbed by current or movement. The posture may also improve access to slightly higher flow, where potential prey travel above the boundary layer. Hydrodynamic explanations fit the geometry, but exact flow around a living fish has rarely been mapped in place. Claims about a single perfect feeding height should therefore be treated as hypotheses, not established constants. Body size, substrate firmness, current and ray length can all change the useful elevation. Tripod behavior also reveals how deep-sea ecology rewards patience over continuous speed. Food arriving from above is patchy in time, and benthic populations may wait long intervals between substantial meals. A low output posture preserves energy while the current performs much of the searching. When you follow one copepod toward the fish, the entire system becomes visible. Flow carries the animal near a pectoral ray. Contact supplies a cue, and the fish bends toward the disturbance. The extended supports resist displacement, allowing the mouth to intercept without abandoning the feeding station. Success converts a tiny drifting body into maintenance energy for muscles, nerves, and reproduction. Failure ends quickly, and the fish can resume its inexpensive stance. This repeated economy links individual behavior to carbon transported from upper waters. Every captured crustacean represents surface productivity transformed, migrated, or fallen into the deep benthic food web. Tripod fishes then become prey for larger animals, moving that energy through another ecological step. Their stationary silhouette also creates habitat-scale information for explorers about current direction and substrate conditions. Scientists must interpret cautiously because a vehicle's thrusters can disturb both sediment and animal posture. Bright lights may change behavior before cameras record what appears to be a natural scene. Long, quiet observations are therefore more informative than brief, close approaches. Collected specimens provide anatomy and stomach contents, but can break fragile rays during trawling. Museum measurements may consequently underestimate full living length or distort natural flexibility. The animal's reproductive biology adds another adaptation to sparse populations. Some Bathypterois species are simultaneous hermaphrodites, possessing male and female reproductive tissue. This can increase reproductive options when encounters with mates are rare, although mating behavior remains poorly observed. Standing to feed and flexible reproduction address the same environmental problem through different biological systems. Together, feeding economy and reproductive flexibility show how sparse encounters can shape unrelated parts of one animal's life. For explorers, the standing fish makes deep scarcity visible through posture rather than through an empty landscape alone. Stereo cameras could measure body elevation and ray movement without touching the animal. Flow sensors placed nearby could test whether fish choose a consistent current window or respond to changing delivery. Fine-scale video might show whether one pectoral ray detects prey before the opposite ray adjusts. Stomach DNA could clarify diet when soft prey leave few recognizable structures. These four approaches would connect mechanics, decisions, and nutritional outcomes without assuming every contact becomes food. Repeated records across species would reveal which traits belong to Bathypterois grallator and which characterize the wider group. They would also test whether sediment type sets practical limits on support and hunting height. If you return to the opening plane, the fish still seems suspended between swimming and settling. Its three supports press into mud, while forward rays hold a silent gait across the current. Nothing visible may happen for minutes, and that absence is part of the feeding strategy. The animal spends little samples continuously and waits for moving water to bring a usable signal. Direct observation establishes the stance, current-facing orientation, relocation, and capacity to swim. Anatomy and diet strongly support touch-assisted ambush feeding on small passing animals. Exact sensory thresholds, strike efficiency, and hydrodynamic advantages remain incompletely measured. The tripod fish stands motionless because, on a food-poor seafloor, stillness can make the current hunt on its behalf.